It goes all the way to a 40-foot access on Prospect Road. Now, what we, not on this parcel, not on the old one that we've had, because we own this parcel actually abuts Prospect Road also. So the one we already own goes out to Prospect. The one we acquire it also. So this is good news. This is actually stronger argument for why all the work we've been doing in this old Akut region is actually worthwhile. Because you can see all this wetlands area that we're protecting is all core habitat according to the state. So I feel better about what we're doing. So if we can add this one though, and you'll see it's a little strange to get. Well, why don't I just pass these around?
It's good to know you guessed right.
Yeah, well, we were making the argument based on the supporting habitat, but it's actually the stuff we've been saving, the wetlands we've been saving, are even more critical than we thought they were. We do have a vernal pool down at the end of Bowman Road. The Grace Pond is a vernal pool, and we have check YouTube, you can see a video clip from last year of frogs on the surface in early April going at it, so wood frogs. So we have a large wood frog population down there. What we're doing is having, the land that we're trying to save here is having some environmental significance. It's not just for trails and for recreation purposes.
Bella. How are you? Still here, don't worry, I'm still here.
What we're going to do is we'll walk up the sidewalk all the way up to getting right across, directly across from where the trail starts, and then we'll cross the road. And it's only about a 6-inch step onto the packed snow to get up onto the other side of the road. So that's the lowest place. So. This way, you'll also see some bushes, not as many, over on the left-hand side. But you'll see the roads going all the way in.
Were they planted?
They were planted by the Brownell family, yeah, by Linda's grandfather. And so, yeah, she used to harvest them back in the 50s and 60s. They would sell the berries in New Bedford. So they had 1,500 bushes at one time. So we don't know how many are salvageable, but what we'd like to do is if we can acquire the property, clear out all the pine and stuff that's overgrown, and then maybe just get some fertilizer, organic fertilizer, and just see what happens. And then we'll open it up to the public that can come in, and limit will be a quart a day in terms of picking for individuals and no commercial use. We hope that we'll be able to get people in here picking blueberries.
Very good.
You'll see, it's big. Well, we're gonna keep going down to the end. This is the trail that goes down to the out toward Prospect Road and the brook, and if we have some time we can swing down there on our way back. You'll notice how the land slopes down there, however. This entire 49 acres was classified by the town assessor as marshland. This is clearly not marshland. I mean, you look at the hillock here, and now down there you get into wetlands. By the brook you get into wetlands, but this is all upland in here, which is why we think it's important to acquire it for the land trust, because it could easily be at least 40 acres, 45 acres of home lots instead of preserved land. So in any case, we'll continue on down toward the end. You'll see the stone wall down at the end. Pine woods, and they tend, the needles, I think, seem to keep down a lot of other growth.
If you wanted to walk from our Fruity property, you would have taken that other trail.
Yeah, you go in the Hiller Trail.
Is that the only trail?
Yeah, that's the only one right now.
Okay, this one.
So what we would hope to do, if we acquire this, is have the trail come down and then go over and link up to the Hiller Trail. So you'd be able to do a nice loop.
We at this corner here?
We are right at this corner.
Oh, that corner.
We are at right
Get our
at that
snowmobiles
point.
through.
So this stone wall that we found here marks the southern boundary of the
You are
park.
pretty good. Every member is going to be issued one.
Well,
Just
wait,
like
they
the
did it,
dinner.
but it seems like they couldn't get the.
And again, this is all the supporting this area is all supporting habitat for the critical habitat over there.
What does that mean, Gary?
The state biomass, they did a project, and the first project was done about 10 years ago in order to identify the most critical environmental areas for supporting threatened species, wetland areas, and so on. They just did a new one last year, a revised Biomap 2. And when they did that, they identified the wetlands that we have over here on Martochi and coming from Bowman Road, all that wetland area as being core habitat, among the most critical habitat in the state, as well as Pine Island Pond down here is also core habitat. The areas supporting it, this upland area that's necessary, for example, for salamanders, frogs that are laying eggs in those wetland areas, they need upland areas during the summer, and that's where they feed and so on. So this area in here is supporting for that critical habitat over there.
So this is the upland, and that's
This is the upland. Yeah, this is the upland between these two brooks. Now, we haven't spotted any box turtles in here yet, but we know they've been spotted over in the area near Prospect Road and so on. So I have a strong suspicion we have box turtles in here, which we may be able to find sometime.
Now the brook over there,
Where does it empty? Right near the opening of Pine Island Pond.
Okay.
Yeah, it comes through. It goes right next to the Dunn Preserve that we acquired before, and then it goes through the Hiller property and into Pine Island Pond.
Oh, yeah. I see that.
So,
Very cool.
so yeah, so this is it.
Where does the other brook?
The other brook goes down through Crescent Beach, and
Oh, okay.
goes.
And that brook is like between Crescent and Hiller Pond.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you get into the
I know
Dunn
where the
Pond?
roads are.
Yeah, you can go up from Angelica. You can walk up Old Slough Road,
But
and
it
it
says
is.
no trespass.
Yeah, but we're gonna take those down.
Oh, okay.
Those aren't our signs. Those are signs that were put up by the guy who has the house that's in there. But they're not.
Oh, okay.
You're allowed on our property, and you're allowed to use Old Slough Road.
Oh, all righty. Well, maybe not.
You can't. You shouldn't go in there and park. You should park out on Angelica, but you can walk in there.
Okay.
Oh, good, that's good.
Yeah. Now we're actually hoping this next summer to open up a trail from Great Pond, staying on the Dunn Preserve, and then linking up a little farther down on Old Slough Road. So you'll be able to walk all the way from Angelica, come up there, and actually go all the way up the Hiller Trail and up Route 6. So that'll be a nice walk.
Hopefully
and the
we'll
boys,
be able to take it to the high school sometime in the future. That's what we want to do, all the way up to the high school.
if you haven't been in the Hiller Trail, you should try it. It's going to be sloppy in the spring, but one of the Boy Scouts for an Eagle project built a beautiful bridge in there over the brook. So you should take a look at it sometime. So, all right, we'll swing back and
Trail go up that way.
we can quickly go down toward the brook.
That's
A Linda Brownell managed to get authorization from the sewer department for a sewer stub on Prospect Road. So if we can't raise enough money to purchase the entire property, we have the possibility of selling off a lot on Prospect Road on the other side of the brook. So they may, but before we got that, we said, well, we can't pay you what you ask unless we can have a perk test done to see if that property would perk. And they didn't want us to have a perk test done. So I don't know how much they ever looked in here at having tests done and things. So, but they managed to get the authorization for sewer stuff. So we're hoping we won't have to use it, but if we have to, that's our alternative financing plan.
So does that part that heads out toward Prospect, that's near the Henshaw Road and
Yeah.
Chesapeake, I think
Right,
it is?
yeah.
In that area?
They don't want to, they can just, those that want to go look at a brook. For those who would like, we'll go down here and we can get reasonably close to the brook, actually. If you don't care to, you can continue on back, and we'll meet you back there. We'll walk down into the wetlands, and the brook's actually flowing pretty well right now, pretty strong. So it was when Cindy Hiller was trying to develop the lot. Oh, I should have mentioned that when we were down at the stone wall. The lot on the other side of the stone wall is Cindy Hiller's property that she was trying to develop earlier. When they were trying to do that, they tried to get this brook classified as an intermittent stream, which I think they were successful in doing, but that classification only lasted for 3 years, and we would try to fight any classification. I've had Liz Lighthold came in with me and looked at it. She thinks you can make a pretty strong argument that it's a perennial stream. Part of the problem is there's a cranberry bog at the end, up at the other end of it, north side of it. Well, anytime you've got a cranberry bog, you're messing with the flow of the stream.
Right.
So you can't, just because the stream is dry for 3 days doesn't mean it's necessarily intermittent, because you've got a cranberry bog that's interfering with the flow.
Being an intermittent stream
It gets better protection from the Wetlands Act if it's a perennial stream than being intermittent. So, all right, so we'll take a quick trip down here, and we'll see how the stream is.
Yeah. What is
There's a little bridge, Joy. A little bridge. Go on the bridge, go ahead. Oh, cool.
I think they're actually tiny ladders.
Yeah.